Pirates have captured our imaginations for centuries, not just for their swashbuckling raids and buried treasure, but for the enduring riddles they left in their wake. From treasure-concealing cryptograms to a pirate utopia, the history of piracy is rife with unanswered questions. Today, we're venturing into the top 4 unsolved pirate mysteries from the Golden Age of Piracy. Our first mystery takes us to a small island off Nova Scotia, Canada, where one of the longest-running treasure hunts in history has unfolded. In 1799, a teenager named Daniel McGuinness discovered a strange depression in the ground on Oak Island, sparking rumors of buried pirate treasure. As he and others dug, they found layers of oak wooden planks at regular intervals, as if deliberately placed. About 30 feet down, they unearthed a large stone slab inscribed with mysterious symbols. According to lore, these symbols were decoded to read, 40 feet below, £2 million lie buried, a cryptic hint that a vast treasure was hidden deep in what came to be called the Money Pit. However, before anyone could reach the supposed bounty, the pit sprang a terrible trap. Seawater flooded in, thwarting the diggers. Over the years, numerous expeditions have tried to conquer Oak Island's treacherous pit, devising elaborate pumps, dams, and drills, yet nearly every attempt has ended in failure, and sometimes in tragedy. The Oak Island Money Pit remains one of history's most engineered mysteries. As seekers tunneled deeper, they found tantalizing clues, links of gold chain, ancient parchment, even traces of mercury and coconut fiber, neither native to Canada, but no one has definitively retrieved the main treasure. To make matters worse, a legend grew that the island was protected by a deadly curse, that 7 people must die before the treasure reveals itself. In the past 2 centuries, 6 treasure hunters have perished in accidents on Oak Island. Some call it coincidence. Others believe it's the island guarding its secrets. One theory is that the infamous pirate Captain William Kidd created this elaborate booby-trapped vault for his plunder. Kidd was said to boast that his fortune was buried where none but Satan and myself can find it. And many locals believed Oak Island's hidden hoard was indeed Captain Kidd's pirate treasure. The very nature of the pit, with its clever flood tunnels and platform layers, suggests whoever buried something there did not want it recovered easily. 200 years of digging, and still the question remains: what, if anything, lies at the bottom of Oak Island's Money Pit? Here we are, centuries later, and Oak Island's secret is still buried in water and darkness. Is it pirate gold guarded by a watery trap, the Holy Grail as some wild theories propose, or merely an abandoned engineering project that fooled treasure hunters? Despite advanced technology, the Money Pit has guarded its mystery well, and as of 2025 remains unsolved. Our next mystery takes us to the sun-soaked tropics of the Indian Ocean. Here sailed Olivier Levasseur, a French pirate active in the early 18th century, whose nickname was La Buse, the Buzzard. Levasseur was infamous for his lightning raids and enormous plunder. In 1721, he and his crew captured the Portuguese treasure ship Nossa Senhora do Cabo, Our Lady of the Cape, seizing one of the richest hauls in pirate history: gold, diamonds, gemstones, and religious artifacts said to be worth over £1 billion in today's terms. But our focus isn't just on the treasure he stole, it's on what happened when Levasseur met his end. In 1730, the law finally caught up with the Buzzard. Levasseur was captured and brought to the gallows in Réunion to be hanged for his crimes. According to legend, as the noose tightened around his neck, the unrepentant pirate had one final trick to play on the world. He produced a piece of paper, a cryptogram of strange symbols, and threw it into the gathered crowd, shouting, "Find my treasure, the one who may understand it." With that bold taunt, Olivier Levasseur left behind one of history's great treasure puzzles. The cryptogram of La Bouse has stumped treasure hunters for nearly 3 centuries. Many believed it was a map or directions to Levasseur's immense hidden fortune. Over the years, countless adventurers tried to decipher the code, following clues across islands and through old pirate haunts. Most gave up, suspecting the wily pirate might have sent them on a wild goose chase just for the fun of it. But in the 1940s, an Englishman named Reginald Cruise Wilkins became convinced he'd cracked part of the mystery. On the island of Mahé in the Seychelles, Cruise Wilkins discovered carved symbols and stone statues he believed Levasseur buried as markers. His years of excavation led him to a hidden cave. He nearly died when a tunnel collapsed, but he escaped with intriguing relics: a flintlock pistol, old coins, a 17th century wine jug, and figurines. These items suggested he'd found a teaser of the treasure's location, yet the ultimate treasure remained elusive. Funding for his dig ran out just as he felt he was on the brink of unearthing the pirates' hoard. To this day, Levasseur's coded message has never been fully solved, and the bulk of his treasure has never been found. Not all pirate mysteries are about gold and jewels. Some are about ideals and perhaps a grand hoax. Imagine a secret colony where pirates gave up plunder and lived as free men under their own laws, a haven of liberty hidden from the empires of the world. This is the legend of Libertalia, the so-called pirate utopia. The story goes that in the late 1600s, a French pirate captain named James Misson grew weary of the cruelty and lawlessness typical of piracy. Along with a like-minded priest turned pirate, Misson dreamed of founding a new kind of society. As the tale appears in a 1724 book by Captain Charles Johnson, Misson and his crew supposedly sailed to the remote northern coast of Madagascar. There they established Libertalia, a settlement where men of all nations and creeds were equal, where slavery was abolished, and where they lived by the motto, "For God and Liberty," under a pure white flag of truce, instead of the bloody Jolly Roger. According to the legend, famous pirates like Henry Every and Captain Thomas Tew even joined this anarchist colony as co-founders. In Libertalia, it is said, pirates and liberated slaves built a town with forts, markets, taverns, and elected councils to make their laws. It was a rogue's paradise, a radical experiment in freedom that stood in defiance of the monarchies and empires the pirates once served. But did Libertalia ever really exist? That's the mystery. According to Johnson's account, Libertalia thrived for about 25 years before tragedy struck. The colony was attacked, some say by the native Malagasy or by the returning colonial powers. Libertalia's fleet admiral, Captain Tew, was killed or stranded, and the settlement was overrun. Captain Misson himself supposedly escaped the carnage with a handful of men, but was never heard from again. All that remained were whispers of a fallen pirate kingdom. For centuries, writers and treasure hunters have searched Madagascar for traces of Libertalia's ruins. A fort here, an old cannon there. But conclusive evidence has never surfaced. Historians have serious doubts that Libertalia was ever real beyond the pages of Johnson's book. In fact, many suspect that Captain Charles Johnson was actually a pen name for writer Daniel Defoe, and that he wove the Libertalia tale from imagination or hearsay. No known pirate logs or official records mention Libertalia. Our final mystery centers on one of the most famous female pirates to ever sail the Caribbean, Anne Bonny. Fierce, fearless, and defiant, Anne Bonny's life was the stuff of fiction. And yet, it's true. In 1720, Anne Bonny sailed with the pirate Calico Jack Rackham, raiding ships in the West Indies alongside fellow female pirate Mary Read. Contemporary accounts describe Bonny as a red-haired Irish beauty with a fiery temper, willing to fight with sword and pistol like the fiercest of men. Her exploits, though somewhat embellished by pirate lore, marked her as an uncommon figure in a male-dominated world. In October 1720, Calico Jack's ship was finally captured by a pirate hunting schooner. Rackham and his crew were taken to Jamaica in chains to stand trial. Anne Bonny and Mary Read, however, pulled a shocking reveal. They were both pregnant, which delayed their executions. According to law, they received a temporary stay of execution under the plea of belly. Calico Jack Rackham was hanged, and Mary Read tragically died of fever in prison in early 1721. But Anne Bonny, she simply disappears from the record. After Anne Bonny's brief appearance at her trial, where legend says she told Calico Jack, "Had you fought like a man, you need not have been hanged like a dog." There is no official account of her execution or release. This void in the records has fueled almost 3 centuries of speculation. Did Anne Bonny escape jail, bribing a guard or disguising herself to slip away in the night? One popular theory is that Anne's wealthy father, who had disowned her in youth but possibly still had a soft spot for her, used his influence to have her quietly released. Others believe she might have gone back to piracy under a new identity, or sailed to the American colonies to seek a fresh start away from the Caribbean where she was notorious. For years, nothing concrete was known, just tantalizing rumors that the Pirate Queen had cheated the hangman and disappeared. Then, in recent times, a potential clue emerged: archival records in Jamaica. In 2020, researchers announced they found a parish burial record from St. Catherine's Church in Spanish Town, Jamaica, noting that an Anne Bonny was buried there in December 1733. Intriguingly, Spanish Town is the same place Anne was imprisoned and tried, and the spelling Anne Bonny matches how contemporary accounts wrote her name. This suggests that Anne Bonny may have remained in Jamaica for over a decade after her capture. If that record is truly her, it means she likely lived quietly in Jamaica until about age 40 and passed away under the radar. However, even this finding isn't 100% confirmed as the Anne Bonny. No accompanying details are given in the ledger. It's just a name and date. The truth of Anne Bonny's fate, therefore, remains an unsolved mystery to this day. From hidden treasure pits and indecipherable codes to vanished utopias, these are just some of the many unsolved mysteries from the Golden Age of Piracy. They are a part of why pirate history never loses its allure. If you found this video interesting, be sure to check out our video about sailor punishments in the Age of Sail on your screen now. If you've made it this far, please consider subscribing to the channel. It really helps us out. Thank you for watching, stay curious, and we'll see you on the next one.